Welcome. आज क्या चल रहा है? What is going on today? So I'll start off with quickly Indo-Russia tango. Russia working with Pakistan, China working with with Pakistan, and Biden is trying to put sanctions on everybody else. So it's a lot of funny things going on all over the
I thought you will ask me, why am I wearing a suit and tie?
world.
That was the most important thing. That ought to have come as the most natural question to you. कि बुरी आपने tie के साथ कैसे पहना हुआ है?
No, our title is seriously funny. So one has to be serious. One person has to be serious.
No. It is. Whatever is happening in the world, it must not shock anybody. You know what is the only shocking thing is thanks to people like you in the technology domain who have brought a tectonic shift in the way we communicate.
Right.
यही न्यूज पहले भी होता था, लेकिन 4 दिन बाद खबर आती थी. Today we almost get to know the news views instantly. And thanks to Twitter, as somebody said, the first time I heard the word twit was in India, when my American boss told about an industrialist. After a long meeting with him, he says, that guy is a twit. I said, John, what does a twit mean? All right, go figure it out. so I always say, when Shashi Tharoor said cattle class, I said, here is a twit who is twitting on Twitter. So the point is today is, and that's a very serious matter, because it doesn't give a time for people to think and react.
Right, true.
The whole process has become so remarkably accelerated that in 140 characters, you are an editor, mood maker, influencer, violence creator, peacemaker, and then you have Jack who cancels your account, who manipulates with algorithm that you suddenly saw that you lost 1,000 supporters of yours. What did happen? What did I do? So you are looking at a world which is in a dangerous precipice right now. Because today there is one Twitter, tomorrow there will be coup. Coup is there.
Right.
Something like Quicker. There will be Amazon web hosting service. Somebody will start their own web hosting service. So what is happening in the world today? Things like that happened in the past. Earlier, the news didn't travel. It came literally via ship or air or ANI or PTI through the coded words and whatever. Now we get to know everything. So that's the reason. अगर आपको कुछ भी जानना हो, all that you need to do is Google, and then you have the whole plethora, millions of options available to do that. So I'm not concerned about it. ये gameplay जो था, आप Sherlock Holmes की movie देखिए ना, Games of Shadows.
Right.
The German, French, and British were fighting wars even then. The industrial war machine was working even then. अब electronic हो गया है, more powerful, more dangerous, more lethal. Yeah. Let's talk about something new.
So the Russian foreign minister took an exception to Indian prime minister, and he said that he was not very happy when Modi did not oppose Biden's remarks on Russian president as that he was a killer. That's one thing which is going on, and I think it is affecting I think it's a tango time for Jaishankar. He has to run. He is in the hard spot now.
I would put it this way, sir. ऐसा है कि आप Twitter, WhatsApp groups पे जाके देखिए. God knows who is abusing whom.
Right.
So, like Biden said, he's a killer. Now, Russians should say, let them make a statement. Biden is a rapist. I mean, if this is the level of leadership and conversation, why do you ask me to comment on that? Right. So if the Russians are serious about Indian relationship, why aren't you asking this question of Boris Johnson? Why aren't you asking this question of Shinzo Abe? Right? Why aren't you asking this? You are trying to do selling arms to Pakistan. Has Imran Khan said that? No. Yeah. On the contrary, I'm happy that French president has shown guts, that he has said 3 things that he banned today. It's not coming in my head that you can't wear burkini and prayers in schools, and one more thing, he banned it. He is fighting the cultural war. So it is a serious business right now. because everybody is becoming oversensitive and overreactive. आपने उस पे कुछ नहीं बोला, मैं कितनी चीजों पे बात करूंगा भाई? How many things that Biden said out of his madness? Why do I have to comment on that? The whole world is telling me that Modi is a killer of Godhra, but nobody says 59 people were killed. That's why that Godhra happened. So Modi has experienced attacks on himself. Which international leader rose up for him? When Sonia Gandhi said he's a maut ka saudagar, chaukidar chor hai, and what other abuses he has heard, did he ask anybody to support him? So I think the Russians are being childish. And I think if the Russian minister is in front of me, I'll say, grow up.
Yeah. So no, Russia has that, and the Biden is also threatening a sanction on India on S-400. That is old news now, but there is a lot of movements now because the S-400 delivery dates are confirmed now. So that is something else,
Right.
and the delivery dates are confirmed, and so I think there is a big move towards consolidating. The Russian point was, don't build a quad which is becoming an Asian NATO for them. So that's what is going on. So India is in a tough spot on both sides, Russia and US,
Right.
both sides. And with the Africa, the one thing is, Africa is always a silent partner, but there is a big fight for cobalt mines
Mm-hmm.
because of the EV, electrical vehicles and all
Right.
those things,
Right.
and the cell phone. So that's a big fight over there. And South America, again, it's a little bit more nascent in a way that there are very few people in South America worrying about the resources, but uranium deposits are the biggest in South America,
Right.
especially other expensive metals like gold is the number one. So it's a global thing shaping up around the world, and the Coinbase released $100 billion dollar. Uh, they came up with $100 billion IPO. So that is also a big thing. This is the first time we are having a Bitcoin exchange that's going on.
You
So
are looking at a world today which is the crisis and precipitation of crisis is gathering momentum.
momentum, yeah.
Nobody is waiting.
Yes.
I think everybody should take a 20-minute meditation break, and all the world leaders must sit in the United Nations hall or wherever room they are. They must have a 20-minute meditation thing. What are we actually doing?
In last 24 hours, the whole thing has like changed,
Completely.
completely upside down.
So you are going to see what is happening right now is control. Back to the same thing. Who is controlling who, what, and where? So कहते हैं नहीं कि सब कुछ बदल जाएगा, but वो नहीं बदलेगा. The desire to control resources, people, the supply chains, that has never changed, and that will continue to be what it is. So we are looking at serious issue of Kali Yuga. Something is really cooking very bad.
Very bad, very bad.
Very bad. Yeah.
It's like the US Army inducted more than 12 types of self-propelled rifles, and which is a new grenade launcher, new machine guns, I think it's a 1-year-old story, but today it came in the news. And the missiles, the American missiles have been upgraded now. So we have the fastest missile in the world now, hypersonic.
If you remember during Iraq war, after the Iraq war, US started reducing its personnel in the armed forces. Who was the defense secretary at that time, along with a very controversial figure? He was a very funny guy. He used to make strange statements. And when he was told that you are reducing the number of armed forces, army size, he says, the world we are entering, we won't need the soldiers to fight the war. Right? We are looking at that scenario. Drones will fight. Drones will bomb. Drones will be, if a drone is broken or destroyed, that's what the world is going to be like, electromagnetic waves.
It's a dronocracy now.
Yeah, it is very crazy. And I'm reminded of a Gandhi quote, amongst many of his statements. When he said Western civilization, he said it's a good idea. So likewise, He said something very interesting, that I like your Christ, but I don't like your Christians. They are so unlike Christ. So the question here is again back to the basics, drawing board, battlefield of jihad and crusade. It's again relaunch of the domination of the world in one way or the other. I don't know who will succeed, but I can tell you one thing. My feeling is India will be a major player going forward.
Yeah,
Because
that
one
is
thing has happened, I personal belief is of mine is
yeah.
clock has turned. Everybody today, the sites, the apps, 100 million, 200 million people are subscribing and downloading apps which are related to do spiritual exercise, of meditation, of calm, of relax and headspace. It's like my father had told me that you guys will live longer and a better life. And thank God for his statement, because you will know so much more about how food affects your life. In our situation, in their lifetime, eat, pray, and be happy. That was the only thing.
Right.
Never saw parents doing exercise. We still go for our walks, right? But
Yeah.
there was a certain discipline that my grandfather passed away at the age of 92.
Mm,
Now, what is happening is, I'm relating it to the fact that people are becoming more and more aware.
mm.
And you will suddenly see that the politicians will not be able to do things at their will. Right now, it is a battle royal between the left and the right.
That's right.
Each one is trying to gain that edge. Again, back to the word control. And it's not for no reason that one of the famous movies of comedy movie here, where the control is the one which is controlling everything. I'm forgetting the name of the movie, but it's a comedy. The people should see that for sheer narrative of what is happening today.
Mm.
Chaos and control.
No, that's true. That's true. The Biden, the warships which America wanted to send to Arctic, they were cancelled by Russia, and then the coalition against China on the COVID-19 has also not produced any results. The United Nations, which are supposed to keep peace for everyone, has not been able to maintain peace because it's irrelevant. Because the people who are supposed to be the leaders are themselves quarreling. So it's clearly dividing the whole world in many pieces, and it's all about the control of resources everywhere. You can see that everywhere. So Indian market is the lucrative part for control. Chinese market is inaccessible, and the third is the US market, which is also inaccessible now. So you have three large markets, and the fourth is Europe, but Europe is pretty much in the, what do you call it, deflation, and pretty much the economic expanding nature is not there.
No,
So therefore the only three markets remain, which is India, China, and the US.
right.
And rest everywhere there is no spending power.
No.
So now the fight is for the Indian market, and that's what the Quad was supposed to do. Now, yesterday we said Quad is the squad now, so we have to see, and later on it will be squat. So I think from Quad to squad to squat is today we have reached, and tomorrow we might reach somewhere else after squat.
No, I mean, Jaishankar's statement was very interesting. He introduced a new word of plurality, pluralism kind of a thing. Multilateralism, dualism, and bilateralism is gone. Pluralism is coming in. It is a crazy world right now. And you hit upon it very correctly, that all countries have no money. Economies are shut down. If Bombay has to be closed for 14 days at a stretch, which is the hub of which is the financial capital of the country, and New York is what is hit hard. You are looking at a scenario where people have nothing to do but to fight.
Yeah, that's true.
And you are talking about China. This is a case of global institutional failure, Sam.
Yeah. No, that's
People have to realize this. This is a global institutional failure. You know that it started from Wuhan labs. Come on. World is smart enough to know who did it.
yeah.
People now know. So China will have the karmic curse on it going forward. I believe it. As a Hindu, as a Brahmin, I'm saying China ko curse kar do ab. अगर he doesn't want to suffer the consequences, it will be automatically a karmic cursing उसको हो जाएगा.
Om
Because
Tat.
you can't survive. You are not even blind to be a Kanaka Raja. It is you are now in a situation that people detest you.
No,
People detest faiths. And that
India,
is what is happening to certain groups of communities that we live in. That if you say that you are a peace lover, but you see your non-believers in pieces, that's not life.
they are PIECE.
Yeah, no, that's why I said. You are believers in peace, but you want to see non-believers in pieces. That's what I was talking about.
Now, another thing is that India opens the first EV plant for the batteries. That's a major thing.
Right.
And I think the next, the frontier is going to be fuel tech. So fuel coming out of hydrogen, I think that
Right.
will be the better for the world, because there is no, so the whole comedy about the electric vehicles is the batteries, there is no way to dispose them, because wherever they go, they're going to destroy it. So
Right.
you may be saving some gas at the gas pump, but the power generation unit has the costs have been shipped upstream. So the power generation units have to produce more power so that your car can be charged. So
Right.
you're actually literally paying the same money, and there is a, because those plants are mostly they're thermal plants.
Correct.
So still you're burning more coal now to charge your
Correct.
cars.
Right.
So where is the EV benefit now? And plus you're paying more taxes. And in California, you get the, after paying all the taxes, you get a unique pass to drive in 2 or more busy lanes.
And you are stuck again there. What is happening, Aditya, is that the farceness of the exercise, global warming, it may be real. I do not know. But weather pattern has changed. That is true. I'm saying that the plans to have them, 30 years later, we will have temperature controlled by 1 degree or not. That's all rubbish. That's
If
all
we,
rubbish.
as we believe in Sanatan Dharma, we all know Devtas control this planet very well.
Right?
So first of all, they won't let the environment collapse. But the seasonal changes, everybody's trying to make money on that. So all of them must be laughing. If you want to if you want to have a joke, tell your plans. So that's the biggest joke. Exactly.
Yeah, the biggest joke was the millennium crisis. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was part of it.
Yes. When somebody asked me what will happen to my bank statement, I said, why?
.com bubble.
That is all rubbish. I said, we are already prepared for that. आपका statement as of 31st will be ready on 31st. उसके बाद जो होगा देखेंगे बाद में. So, that was a hoax played. And that's what is important now, Aditya ji. I will say this. There's some amount of Sanatan Dharma will have to come back to the planet Earth, because as one person told me, gods have taken over. The nuclear war will happen. T2 will come in. Terminator 2 will come. Because we are destroying nature in the manner shamelessly. And that is what is important here now. And I say this, that war will not happen, because everybody knows that if there will be nuclear, everybody will try to get in the first mover advantage, and that will lead to the destruction of the planet Earth. And I think this is all posturing going on. The tension, control, and everything else. So Russian minister saying Modi did not condemn Biden. Did you condemn anybody else when Modi was attacked, man? Come on.
No,
Rob.
Russians are the same people who actually hurt Shastri. They are the same people who regularly bribed Indira Gandhi.
Right.
The Metrokin archives, everything is mentioned there. They are the same people who are paying Sonia Gandhi. And they are the ones who sold crappy tanks, crappy airplanes, everything to Indian forces.
Right.
Now Indian forces are smarter. Now their Tejas is better than Russian.
That's right.
Did you know that the Tejas carries the same amount of weight of armaments as Sukhoi MKI?
Yes, I came to know of that. Yeah.
Same. And Tejas is more expensive than Sukhoi 30.
Right. Why the hell didn't we develop all this? But I want to end up this conversation today on a serious note for religion part of it. As the saying goes, for good people to do evil things, you need religion, right? So in the name of religion, we all go nuts.
That's true.
And, I think we must have a conversation full to talk about why religion must be banned by every country in the world. So that's the one reason, while it provides solace and everything else, unless you drop the words non-believers, kafirs, and, my way or highway, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. It's a serious issue. But as I say that, some Oscar Wilde made a nice statement. Have you heard about that? He said, religion is like a blind man looking in a black room for a black car that isn't there, but he finds it nevertheless. So that's the world we are living in right now. Everybody is shooting out for the stars, just titillation. I don't even get turned on by all the permutation combination that is happening in the world. Now Australia, France, Australia, and India are talking about one conversation. Squat, whatever is another conversation. China doesn't know who is coming to him, so China is worried about that part. US is sanctioning, doesn't realize it's something very important for US and you and I to tell our politicians. Don't abuse sanction as a tool beyond a point. Because if tomorrow, if the banking circuits are broken, what do we need banks for? Keeping the money safe. Now I'll keep the money as Bitcoin. Go screw yourself. If supposing banks are used for letters of credit and guarantees and all those things, if I know you, I don't need the bank to issue a guarantee on your behalf. Right? So there are already AI things coming. And I know somebody who 4 years ago talked about it. The US Department of Treasury was putting through all kinds of a security thing because to make sure that data doesn't go away. Who needs Federal Reserve Bank now anymore? What does Reserve Bank of India do? Print notes, that's right, and collect data. You do up interest rate up and down, that's it. You are looking at a world driven by technology is going to go nuts. The whole thing is there. Who maintains the control? Back to the chaos and control technology. What produces control?
I think nobody knows that SWIFT is
Yeah.
a complete American control over the global funds.
Correct.
And the Europeans have their own version. Chinese are inventing their own version. And probably Indians will come up with their own version also.
Right.
You have 4 ways of payment throughout the world. The rest of the world will be dependent on either US or Chinese or Indians or Europeans.
That's back to control. Use my system. China will say, I will pay you in renminbi,
If the good people do not, if the good people don't control, the bad people will definitely control.
Yes.
And the biggest failure of the Bitcoin is that people, since there is no supervision, then somebody can use Bitcoin to fund criminal activities.
Yes.
That is the biggest worry.
That is the biggest worry, yeah.
Because throughout the history, as I was writing my book on Artha, I found that it was dharmically required for the dharma, for the dharmic king to control the currency, printing of currency.
Right.
The point was that if they don't do it, it may create chaos. The criminals may print it, and so the power goes out of their hands. So I'm all in favor of at least the elected governments. We know how they're elected, but somewhere there is a public participation there. Otherwise, the rest of us have to grow potatoes from tomorrow.
Rahul Gandhi will say, grow potatoes. Idhar se aloo aayega, udhar se sola nikalega. He will be very happy.
Thank God he is not the economist.
I don't know what he is. Anyway, whatever. So on that happy note, you can be happy having a drink or just staying sober.
Thank you, Vibhuti.
Thank you.